Let me begin by saying that the mechanical watch is doomed. Let me repeat that. The mechanical watch is doomed. If you were a young watch reporter in the late 1970s, you didn't know much. But the one thing that you did know was that the trusty tick-tock was doomed. And you knew that because everybody in the business told you so. I was working on a small-town newspaper in South Jersey, and I applied for a job at a magazine called Jeweler's Circular Keystone. The editor-in-chief was an ex-Wall Street Journal man, and on my first day of work, he said to me, "You're going to cover watches." And I remember driving home that day thinking to myself, what can you possibly write about watches once a month? In 1977, the watch industry was going through the worst crisis it had had in 300 years. Quartz watches had now come in. There was a brand new technology that was disrupting the industry. And it turned out to be really, really interesting to me. When I was young, when starting in this business, I was also very naive. I didn't realize some of these people you weren't supposed to approach. Whoever it was, I just felt that I should go see them and talk to them and figure out what's going on, whether it was Nicholas G. Hayek Sr., who was probably the single most important and interesting man of the past 40 years, and I covered him for his entire career. And that was really a thrill because he was an amazing character. Yeah, I've been very lucky. I've had a front row seat at watch history. In the nearly 4 decades that I've covered the industry, I've covered 3 revolutions. The quartz revolution of the 1970s, the fashion watch revolution in the 1980s, and most importantly, the mechanical watch counter-revolution of the 1990s. This product defied its doom. There's something about having these moving parts in the size of a postage stamp that you can put on your wrist, that even the great Silicon Valley champions and heroes, guys who work in electronics, they collect mechanical watches because they appreciate how difficult this is. The WatchTime reader is an extremely intelligent reader. They don't need to hear my opinion. They need information. And what I do is go out and get them the information that they need to make their judgments about what watches they want to look into, what watches they want to buy, what watches they want to wear. The wristwatch is an extremely interesting little consumer product. You can take all kinds of approaches to it. There is the technology approach. There's, of course, the design factor. There's marketing. And there's history. I personally am fascinated by the history of pocket watches and wristwatches.
Hi.
Hi. You want to know how it's coming? Yeah, Norma Buchanan is the executive editor of WatchTime magazine, and she is my professional and personal partner for 27 years. And so once I'm done with the story, I turn it over to Norma, and then I sit in pins and needles and wait for the verdict as to whether or not this is WatchTime worthy. And she'll say to me, either it's good, or she'll tell me it's a good start.
I think Joe changed the way people write about watches and jewelry. I think he elevated trade reporting to the level of other high-quality journalism.
I have one marketable skill, and that is the writing and reporting. I need to write. It's something that is in me, and so I will write until I can't write anymore. I hope that day is still far off. The watch thing, for sure. I mean, it just remains eminently interesting. I mean, look at this now. I mean, this far into my career, here comes the Apple Watch. There are more people interested in watches today than there have ever been in my entire career. Where is this going to go? I have no idea. But am I fascinated to find out? Absolutely. So yes, I hope to keep writing about this subject until I can't write anymore.